There's people live next to the sun.
Again, I asked you, and as I had mentioned from before, when you came in the room, I said, I said that scientific evidence in religion, okay, is very subjective, and is something to me that is inconsequential, right? I did not pick the topic. Christian Prince picked the topic. Perhaps you have selective hearing. I mentioned that I would much rather go into morality or religious doctrine rather than going into these scientific whatever he may want to go into, simply because he does not, there's one thing that Christian Prince does not want to do, is talk about theology. He does not want to talk about morality, nor does he want to compare religion, simply because he knows he's being a hypocrite. So if you're going to go against me based on scientific evidence, again, God will not ask me what I believe about unicorns, okay? He will not ask me what I believe about half man, half goat, or about giants in the Bible. He wouldn't ask me about that, and I don't think he will ask you about that either. He will ask you about what you did and who you worship, right? So if these other things of faith as regards to your scientific evidence or whatever you may beckon to, this is inconsequential. Let's go to something again that would affect everybody here, that you would consider to be something morally wrong or or theologically unsound. We talk about those things, and the scientific other stuff is simply irrelevant again, at least in this setting.
You took the mic from me for what? You did not say anything. I thought you wanna say something in the topic. When we invited to this room, your brother Banto, what his name, he is the one who mentioned scientific facts in the Quran. And when we came to your room, we said your brother was saying that, so what do you think? You agreed, and we start talking. So now, because you are in the corner and we prove that your prophet is telling you fairy tale stories, you want to change the topic to speak about morality. I have no problem to speak about morality, but we just prove that Islam to be a false book, because Islam, based on science, is a fairy tale stories. Alexander the Great, by the way, is a bisexual. He is a what? He is a bisexual. And the Quran says that he is a prophet of God, who went to the end of the earth where the...
It's again, CP, let's go talk about something that is of relevance. Allah won't ask me if Alexander the Great was a bisexual or not, right? He will ask me who I worship and what I did. That is what he's going to ask you. He's not going to ask you about Alexander the Great, what you believed about him, right? I don't see any Alexander the Great in my Quran, right? So I'm asking you to speak of morality, your theological issues that directly affects our theology today. I'm not asking you about the sexuality or the sexual orientation of Alexander the Great. Show me something in the Islam that you consider to be immoral. How about that? Your mic.
Just to prove that the Muslims, they cannot focus. If a man, he is Alexander the Great, is a prophet of God and he was a homo, how you can speak about morality? How you can speak about...
You're the one who's saying that he's homosexual, and you're the one who's saying that it's Alexander the Great. Okay, I don't see any Alexander the Great in any of my in my religious writings. As to who you may want to assume who it is. So be the case. You're the one again saying that he's a homosexual, right? Some people might say the same thing about Jesus. I'm not asking you about Jesus' sexuality, am I? Did I ask you if Jesus ever slept with a woman because Dan Brown said so in his novel? I never said that, right? So I'm asking you about issues that are of relevance today. And it would be nice for you to speak of something that is relevant. Alexander's if he's his sexuality? Do I care about that? If please speak of something that has something to do with morality or theology, and not in the obscure corners of theology, right? But in broad, things that would affect other people. Your mic.
I noticed that you are starting getting a lot of reds to me because you don't want me to talk. First, about Alexander the Great, that he is Alexander. This is what your prophet said, and this is, we can find it in Sahih, in the book of Ibn Kathir. And here we go, this is the link. It is not me who said that. So the Muslims, they try to avoid such a very clear, you can read any history book. Those are not religious books. They are not made by Christians. Nobody defended Alexander the Great anyway, because he simply is no one. He's just a killer. Now, when your Quran make out of him a prophet of God, and make him someone who is spreading Islam, it means Islam have no morality. Because Islam, praising the man who is named Alexander the Great, claim that he is a prophet of Allah, when he is a pagan worshipper. In the top of that, he is a bisexual, and he is a criminal, and he is a thief.
I know about Zulkarnain. I do not know anything about Alexander the Great. I have no interest in the guy. If he was homosexual, if he was not, if he was a pagan, again, God won't ask me about any of those things. And I don't believe him to quiz me about or call me to account for any of those things that Alexander the Great did. Nor do I, again, I don't find any importance for Alexander the Great in my religion, right? So Islam itself, okay, what we have now, right? Islam, what we have now, we know it condemns homosexuality. We know that for a fact. We know that it prescribed the death penalty for homosexuals. So as to God elevating somebody to a point in the back then to something that you're alleging, again, is inconsequential. It has no relevance to me what Alexander the Great did, if he was homosexual or not. And even if he was homosexual, okay, or bisexual, whatever you say he was, even if he was, this act is blatantly condemned in my religion, right? And has always been condemned. So for you to even say that he was a prophet who did this, then, it goes against my own the beliefs of my religion, and everything you say, I can't really take it as, if you show me something in Sahih Bukhari saying that Zulkarnain is Alexander the Great and he was homosexual, then maybe that is something that would be something you could discuss. But we know for a fact in Islam that homosexuality is condemned, right? And the death penalty is prescribed for it. So it would be nice for you to just stick to something that has some moral implication. Again, I'm asking you to just bring it up to date to Islam today, what it is, and let's talk about the morality and the theology. If you don't want to, I could bring up something that you may not want to talk about. How about that?
It's very clear that you are the one who don't want to talk about that, because you are the one who spoke about morality. And when your prophet, and look, all the Muslims in the room, I am
how about this? How about this? You bring me the evidence from Sahih Bukhari that says that Alexander the Great was homosexual. How about that? Bring me the evidence from Sahih Bukhari that Alexander was homosexual. If not, then let's talk about something that is consequential right now. How about that? Your mic.
Well, we can do better. What about proof to you from Sahih al-Bukhari that your prophet was homosexual? From Sahih al-Bukhari, your prophet used to put on makeup. From Sahih al-Bukhari, your prophet, he pissed like a woman. From Sahih al-Bukhari, your prophet, he said, I never received a book except in the clothes of Aisha. From Sahih al-Bukhari, your Prophet.
Yeah. Could you show those things instead of just making allegations, right? Show those things instead of making allegations. When you said put on makeup or anything else, it would be nice for you to show your the reference for those, and show me where it is homosexuals who wear those things, right? Or if that is considered homosexuality. How about that? As for doubting Christian Prince, I am sure, as any Muslim could testify, that I am more generous with Christian Prince, and I've given him more time on the mic than he's probably given all Muslims collectively together on his mic. He does not give anybody a chance to speak. As soon as you don't say what he wants you to say, he doubts you. And I've been doubted by him 1,000 times. So I know this firsthand indeed. So show me your evidence and let's speak of something regarding to morality. How about that? Your mic.
Well, I don't know, like, you are saying, show me, and at the same time you would doubt me. I don't know, like, okay, let us show you then. Let us show you. Your Prophet, I'm going to post the hadith one by one. One by one. So nobody can say that I am making things up. And by the way, the funny, when a Muslim he says, show me from Sahih al-Bukhari, as if you don't want to hear from any other Islamic book, as if Islam only written in Sahih al-Bukhari. But anyway, this is Sahih al-Bukhari, and this is the website. This is the official government website of Saudi Arabia. Let me post the link. There we go. Make it able to be posted. Open it. And this is the hadith. Your Prophet, he said, the book of the Hiba, وَفَضْلِهَا وَالتَّحْرِيضُ عَلَيْهَا. He said, لا تؤذني في عائشة فإن الوحي لم يأتني وأنا في ثوب امرأة إلا عائشة. Don't hurt me in Aisha because I receive no Quran except in the clothes of Aisha. And this is the hadith. I will post it in front of you. Now, why your Prophet wearing his wife clothes? And why Allah don't give him Quran unless he wear his wife clothes? The mic is yours.
First of all, the clothes that you're referring to is not a dress. It's a piece of cloth that they tie and they use something. They put it on. Islam condemns that a man makes himself appear like a woman and vice versa. It condemns a man looking like a woman and a woman looking like a man. You don't take on either identity. If you're a male, you dress like a male. If you're female, dress like a female. CP, could you give us the hadith, or maybe get it from an English website, and let's look at the text, and then, and look at the text, and then tell me how that affects the morality of the Muslims or the belief of the Muslims, because you're the one who's saying that if I use a piece of cloth that a woman had used, must mean that I am dressing like a woman, right? The cloth that they use is a wrapping, and if men use it, it's a wrapping for a male, and if a woman uses it, it's a wrapping for a female. That is it, right? Now, if they wear it a certain way, then that could look feminine or masculine, right? So, yes, they could share the clothing. Could you please say how that affects morality, and how that is, what bearing that has on morality, and what your Bible says about that? How about that? Your mic.